Okay. Thank you so much for doing this short notice.
Yeah, I got home from a show yesterday and then worked all day and then jumped on. So it'll take me just a second to like switch gears, but yeah, super fun.
Awesome. Thank
Happy to be
you.
here.
Okay, so would you like to tell me a bit about the breed and how you got into poodles?
Yes. Poodles are the best of all the dog breeds. Um, my sister and me, we do our breeding, well, we do all our dog stuff together. We're partners. And I asked her if she wanted to come do this and she declined. So I
Dang.
rep us. But she's a professional groomer. She's been grooming for like 12 years. And I was a bather at her salon in college, like years ago. And so we both just love dogs. And then she got into competitive grooming a little bit and wanted a nice competition poodle. And then was also helping a friend show her poodle. And so she decided to get a show prospect from a breeder. That was like 8 years ago. And so that was her first show poodle. Finished her, and then she had a handler help her get her last majors on her first poodle, and then he was looking for a live-in assistant. So then she became a assistant to a professional poodle handler, and then did that for a while, and then moved back home, and we moved in together, and she was just breeding her poodle for her first litter. And so I lived with her, helped raise that litter, did another litter. It wasn't the best. And that was all like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And then we took a break for a while, got out of showing for a while, and then couple years ago started helping friends show. And then my silver dog was actually totally not planned to bring him home. We became really good friends with a local breeder, kind of helped her show some of her dogs, and then she was actually going to keep her pick from that litter, the litter he's from, and she couldn't. And so we really wanted something to get shown from that. It was a breeding that she put a lot into. Like, it was kind of his dad is like probably the top silver poodle in the world, honestly.
Cool.
So that was like a big deal. And I helped whelp and raise his litter. So I held him when he was a tiny little baby. So we brought him home and we were like, we'll just get back into showing for fun. And then his second show out, and he won a group, and we were like, okay, well, I guess we'll keep going. And then we decided we wanted to get back into breeding. So how long has it been? About 2 years ago, I reached out to a breeder and we imported our bitch that we're showing right now. Am I allowed to say bitch? Because I'll say it like 5 million times.
Yes, okay. Yes. You're good.
And so we're just getting ready to start having our first litters in like 5-6 years. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your sister? Do I know your sister?
Her name is Rachel Baird. She's not big. She kind of stopped competing when she got into showing, so she hasn't done a ton of that. If you're in the show world, you would know the handlers she's worked for and stuff, but if you're not, then you wouldn't. So
Okay.
the show world is really niche, like separate from the rest of the grooming world. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you about grooming. Do you do all the grooming yourself?
Yep. All our dogs are completely maintained by us, completely presented by us, handled by her. So a lot of people, I think, I run our social media accounts, but she's the one that handles our dogs. So her face, I think, is what people probably associate with our page, but it's me. It's really me.
How long total have you been breeding, and how many litters have you had since you started?
So we both independently have helped other people raise 3 litters apiece, and then we have raised 2 litters that she was the main listed breeder on. And then all of because I was still kind of getting into it, and now that was like 5 years ago. Now we do everything completely 50-50. So these will be the first litters that I am like fully co-breeding.
Okay.
But I've raised or helped raise about 5 litters, and so has she.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And so, I saw that it said that you're a hobby breeder. So yeah, obviously
Yes.
this is your
Yeah.
full-time job.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Awesome. And what was their original purpose?
So poodles have such fun, like deep, old history. They go clear back to medieval Europe. Were originally a water retrieving, curly-coated water retrieving breed, and then they gained popularity in France as a companion breed. They have kind of slightly different history in the different regions that they were popularized. So France, Germany, and Russia. And so there's some differences. And then dog shows became a thing in Britain. So most modern breeds, really, the modern breeds start kind of in Britain as show dogs. And poodles are one of the OG show breeds. And they, like in the 1800s, they kind of became an aesthetic show dog. So you can look at pictures with these corded coats that would like drag on the ground, that the handlers would have to like carry them around. So, and then in the US, they became popularized partially as obedience and agility dogs. That is kind of their start in the US as to gaining popularity. So
Cool.
that was probably more than you wanted. I'm a huge breed history.
You're good. Yeah, so is everybody here. So that's why we're here, to hear about it, to learn. So I heard that the haircut, that they show in, that was originally to like protect their joints, I think, from like the water, to keep them warm.
So I will say, I'm one of the people that thinks like some of the things we say about breed history, I think we've just said it so long that it's like, because if you actually think about a continental, is that really practical for hunting on any level?
No.
And I honestly think the hair is probably why they lost popularity to other retrievers over time, is because like, Sure, the Continental's a hunting clip. Sure.
Yeah.
But you will see the
maybe if it was like
I know.
Yeah.
So that's true.
It was like an actual jacket. Like
in FCI, they still sometimes call the Continental the lion clip, and there's other breeds that are in a lion clip also. And so that idea of any like coated breed having the hindquarters shaved, that's like old. That's like an old, super old haircut.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that, and then the idea of, like, I don't think the hair probably actually kept their joints warm, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But the idea, you can think of like a medieval person would be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then it actually, France is where that trim became like the aesthetic trim that it is now. And if you look at the old patterns, it's so fun because they would have all these like weird little pieces of hair. And that's where probably the poms and rosettes and things became what they are now. And then it's not really until showing became more like systematized, where they made rules about what the haircut had to look like, that I think it has become what it is now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what is their temperament like?
There's a range for sure. So I'm on my 5th standard, and have had a toy and have quite a bit of experience with minis, and they're all really different by variety, but standards are what I have most experience with. And they are generally super active, super intelligent. They tend to be aloof with strangers. aloof, like they shouldn't be at all aggressive. They shouldn't be shy, but they just kind of don't care about you if you're not their person. They are, energy level varies a lot. So I have had like total couch potato, and my current girl is like, she keeps me on my toes. She's super high energy. So they should be super stable. In our standard, it says not shy or sharp. So they should just kind of be there, ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And do they come in Merle?
They don't come in Merle. They do not. A lot of people don't know. The reason that we can say Merle was introduced is because Merle is a dominant genetically. And so it's not something like some of the other patterns that can just pop up. You breed the right two solids together and it pops up because it's a dominant gene. So it was probably introduced like 20, 30 years ago from Aussies, like most likely. Mm-hmm. And someone hung papers at some point, and now here we are. Yeah. So, yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about color breeding in poodles? I've heard that, in a lot of breeds, it's a red flag for breeders to breed for color. And then I've heard that with poodle peoples, there's like more of a preference with color, and it's not so much of a red flag.
Yeah. So, color, because the way our standard is written, makes it so that certain colors aren't preferable to breed together. And it's not because there's anything wrong with those colors. It's just because you can get those faults that will pop up. So for example, creams and whites should have black pigment, and brown dogs genetically have liver pigment. And so if you breed browns to creams or brown and cream carriers together, you could have a puppy that's cream with liver pigment pop up. And there's nothing wrong with that, but poodle people think it's ugly, and they'll tell you that, and it's not ideal. Mm-hmm. And then you also have, because we have the fading gene, so in a lot of breeds, for example, the color blue is a dilute gene, and you can have a dilute poodle. It's really rare. Like, I've never met one. They can pop up where they're born blue, but in poodles, what we call blue is the same gene as silver. It's like a spectrum. So it's called a copy number variant. Where the more copies they have of this gene, they'll either be dark or they'll clear to a light. And you'll see that across the colors. So reds that fade to apricot, browns that fade to cafe au lait or silver beige. Silvers are born black, and then they can fade to blue or clear up to like that light platinum color you'll see. So, and then we have black and cream. And so if you introduce the fading gene into your blacks, then you get color that doesn't hold. And same with browns and reds. And there's nothing wrong with the fading. It's acceptable. They're showable.
Is your silver fading?
He's here. Do you want to see him?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
So you can see his face is so light. And when we were still showing him, I got so many comments about his color, because when you're growing them into a show trim, you don't cut any of the darker color off on their spray up. And so you have the dark tips, and they get brassy in the sun. So everyone always thinks he's brown and cafe, and I was always offended. Like, no, he's silver. But yeah, he looks really silver now that he has been shaved down and grown out. So yeah, but he was born black. That's how silvers are. I see people in the comments talking about the patterns. And that is different than what I'm talking about. So we can get into that if you want. But so that's why with if you're focusing on color, like if you want really dark reds, then you can't breed. You have to kind of be selecting for that. And so it does kind of become your focus, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like in silvers, you could choose to breed to a nice black dog, but then you'll end up with dogs that don't fade as light, which is just this aesthetically not some people's preference. So yeah, it is a little bit different in that way.
Are party colors accepted in AKC?
So this this is really controversial in the poodle world, and I show in AKC. So that is kind of where I come from. So in AKC, any solid color is accepted in the show ring for conformation. And any color or pattern except Merle could be registered. And then you have UKC, United Kennel Club, which is a separate registry. And they, in the early 2000s, changed their standard to allow the other patterns. So in UKC, anything is accepted except Merle. So
AKC, no party?
No, not AKC.
Okay.
Even a little white spot is written as a DQ in our standard. So, yeah. And different breeders approach that differently. But it is something that a lot of breeders take really seriously. So it is, it's kind of a hot topic. So,
gotcha. Yeah. So you just have the him and then one bitch?
Yes. So our first girl was a cream, and she's a champion, and she had 2 litters, and then we retired her. And she actually, I rehomed her like a year and a half ago. She lives with my best friend now, so she doesn't live with us, but she was 7 when we rehomed her. So she's like still like our girl, but she's living her best life. On the beach with my friends. And then we also have one black companion girl. So
okay. And I saw that I think your cream, the one you have retired, she was a carrier for neonatal.
Yeah. And encephalopathy. We call it any. In the breed, we all just call it any. We don't say the whole thing. So yes.
Okay. And did anything ever come up
No, so that's actually a disorder that is super easy to breed around. It's fine to breed a carrier because it's an autosomal recessive. So we do the genetic test and you know if they're a carrier, and then you just don't breed them to another carrier. And they have to have 2 copies to be affected. And it's a horrible disease. Basically the whole litter will die within a few weeks of being born if they're affected. So there's not affected dogs out in the world because the puppies just die. So, but it was kind of a mystery disease for a long time before the genetic test. Breeders would just have litters die and they didn't know why. And so it was something that the breed club put a lot of money into figuring out. So now we have a genetic test, but it's really normal to breed carriers for that. Yeah. And
so what other health testing is required to get a chick number?
Chick number. So a chick number is hip radiographs, and you can do either pen hip or a final OFA. And then a health elective, which is heart, thyroid, or sebaceous adenitis, I believe, skin biopsy. And then there is a list of recommended genetic, breed-specific genetic testing that you don't need for a chick number, but most people do. So.
And do you do all that? And do you have chick numbers?
Yes, we do more than all that, yeah. Okay. So our silver dog has his chick, and we actually did pen hip and OFA on him. Just because in our breed community, most people do OFA because it's easier to just kind of glance at and know. And pen hip, you have to have more knowledge to understand the numbers, what they mean. And so as a stud dog, it's easier to just have OFA on there, because breeders who don't know pen hip super well will just glance at it. But pen hip is better at actually predicting for dysplasia. So we did both on him. We're still waiting to do my girls. She doesn't turn 2 until the end of May. So she hasn't had her eyes or hips done. And we didn't choose to do, we did a heart. We did his cardiac for his chick and not a skin biopsy, because the skin biopsy is a whole thing where sebaceous adenitis is not something that you can, we don't have genetic testing for it. We just do the phenotype. We do a skin punch, but you can get both false positives and false negatives. It's not super predictive, and you have to kind of keep doing them with breeding dogs. And there's no essay in his lines, and so we did his heart instead. But my girl, I'm going to do a skin punch because she does come from some lines where it pops up.
What is this one thing?
Sebaceous adenitis. So it's a autoimmune disease that basically attacks their sebaceous glands. So you'll see poodles that like their hair falls out. You'll see doodles too. Doodles have it all the time, especially if you groom. You might have seen it and not even know, because it's just in poodle genetics, and so it pops up. So it has like a smell. If you've smelled it before, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of a musty smell, and their hair falls out and it's itchy. And it's chronic, it's not treatable. People have things they do to manage it, but it's not great. And it's really, it shows up in more lines than others, but we don't have super great ways to predict it. So it's kind of a hard thing to breed around, but yeah.
Okay. And so that female that's turning 2, is she the one that you're planning to breed next?
Yes. So we should be having a litter with her. We'll breed her the next time she comes into heat, which will be in probably August, maybe September. So.
And that's given that she passes all her health testing?
Yeah. So once her birthday, when she turns 2, we can do her final hip radiographs, and we'll do her eyes, and we'll do her skin biopsy, and she'll have her chick number. So all of her genetic testing is done, and I did it forever ago because you can do it at any time. But
yeah. Okay, and then one of your dogs is a psychiatric service dog?
Yeah, the one you just saw. Yeah,
okay.
bro. Yeah.
And so do you breed for service dogs?
That's a great question. So because service work is something I take really seriously, I don't know that that's ever something I will say that I breed for. Like, I will seek that out. A lot of poodle breeders will just sell you a dog and say, yeah, it's a service prospect just because it's a poodle, and like poodles can do service dog work. But I don't know that my girl will produce puppies that I think would be great at that. She might, depending on the stud dog, but I don't feel comfortable until I kind of see what she produces. I do have 2 good friends, local friends that are service dog trainers and train service dogs. So if that does come up, if ever someone reaches out to me looking for a service dog, I will probably work with them to have their help seeing whether they think a litter would have something suitable for that. So I'm open to it, but I'm never gonna say that I breed specifically for that.
Yeah. And what makes poodles good service dogs?
They are super smart. They are usually really biddable. They just want to please. They also, I do think it is partially the non-shedding coat. I think it's just easy. Can be easier. They're a good size. They're not, I do see people that are sometimes looking for
Small.
mobility work.
Bigger. Yeah.
And that, I don't know if I would ever sell a dog intended to do mobility work because they're not as sturdy as the other breeds that you use for that.
Right.
They're quite sensitive, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. But I do think, like, for psychiatric work, I think that they are quite attuned to their handler, and I think that is a plus for sure.
So what does your dog do?
His tasking. Therapy is one of his main ones, and behavior interruption. He's trained to do public access training done. And for the specific things that he is helping with, even just having him out in public, the main things. We're adding tasks. He's only, he's not even 3 yet. So we've been really focusing on his public access the first year and a half. And so we're getting into more serious task training now. So.
And you stud him out?
He is available as stud. He hasn't, I have litters. He hasn't been used yet.
And so why do you think that he would be good to sit out?
He won a group, a regular, so there's the owner, and a lot of people who don't know what all the things mean.
Yeah.
So you compete in your breed. The breed is split into classes. You win your class, and then there's a winner's bitch and winner's dog. So of the classes, the male and the female win, and then someone wins the breed, and then all the breeds in a group. So we're in the non-sporting group, compete against each other, and then there's placements there. So when he was 7 months old at his second show, he won the non-sporting group, which is for a silver poodle. Silver poodles there's not very many in the show world. So it was a pretty big achievement. And then he's a grand champion. He got his grand before he was a year old in like 5 shows. Wow. It was just like whirlwind. He enrolled, but for a silver dog to do that is pretty rare. Like, and I said his sire is Ben. He has multiple award of merits at Westminster and at our Breed National, and he has been shown all over. He's won the Poodle Classic Romania with his breeder, owner, handler. So he's very well decorated, awesome temperament. And he is the same. Awesome temperament, beautiful structure. The silver gene pool is really small, so having nice dogs is really nice. So
yeah. Is that who you're going to be breeding your girl to?
No.
Okay.
No. People probably would assume that. I don't know if we'll even breed her to him. We might at some point.
Yeah.
So she's black.
Mm-hmm.
I told you we weren't planning on getting him, and then my friend that was going to keep the pick from that litter couldn't. So silvers have happened to me kind of unexpectedly. I would like now to potentially keep something from him. So I don't know if it will be someone else who uses him, if we want a puppy back, or if we'll lease something. I don't know. I'd like something from him. But the colors I always planned to breed are black and brown. And so the silver is kind of just a little side fun, spontaneous thing. So
would you be able to demonstrate his task for us by chance?
I am actually, he's not my
okay, he's not your service dog? Okay.
No, he's my sister's. And so I don't know if he would even task for me.
Yeah, no problem.
He's just hanging out. He says, oh, are we talking about him? He's so cute though.
He's so cute. What's his name?
Brom.
Brom.
He's named after Bram Stoker. He was born on Halloween, so we had to do something kind of spooky. So
I don't know
Dracula.
what that is.
That's the author of Dracula.
Okay. Do you co-own or not?
What do you mean when you say co-own? Like with other breeders?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't. My sister and I co-own everything, but at the moment I don't co-own anything with other breeders.
Okay.
He was on a co-own with his breeder, who's a good friend, a good local friend. But co-owns, there's kind of two different ways to do co-owns in the show world. One is like you're actually planning on co-owning a dog until they die and you're both owners and you're both invested. And the other is kind of just breeders use it kind of as like insurance, where it's like their name is on them, because AKC won't let you do things without signing off without co-owner permission. So it's a way to like kind of keep some control of a dog until certain requirements have been met. So he has his championship, he has his health testing. Contractually, we've done everything. We've kind of fulfilled his co-own, and so now it's just my sister and I who own him. Generally, when you import a dog from overseas, because you're going from one registry, so she was born and registered FCI because she was born in Spain. When you bring them to AKC, there's no way to do a co-own because it's transferring registries. Right.
Yeah.
So I've owned her outright since I bought her. So
what about when you have puppies? Will you co-own?
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yes.
Well, both.
I have actually had more interest in show homes than I have in pet homes from this litter. And so I am open to it. I'm kind of waiting to see what I feel about what she produces before, because I would take that really seriously. And poodles are a breed that, because showing them is really hard because of the hair and because it's such a handler heavy breed, that it can be hard to get someone to sell a nice puppy to you. And so I like the idea of being accessible and mentoring new people, because that's for people who are really serious to find a good puppy. Yeah. But at the same time, the failure rate is really high. A lot of people think they want to show poodles.
Yeah.
And they don't actually want to show poodles. It's too much. The coat maintenance
hard, right?
And And
why is it so hard?
It is hard. It's just a lot of work.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's not rocket science, but it is like a skill set that can be hard
with the
to learn if you don't have a lot of help.
Yeah.
It's really different. A lot of groomers think they want to try showing, but pet grooming and show grooming are really different.
Yeah.
They're really different. And so it's like you still have to learn a whole new skill set.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just met a new friend this weekend at a dog sporting event, and she asked me, "Do you know how to do a continental and keep it maintained?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, in theory," I was like, "I'm sure I could." And she's like, "I might be like leasing a bitch for a friend and blah blah blah." She's like, I was like, I would definitely try to help you. I was like, between the two of us, I think we could probably figure it out, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, it's the type of thing, like, I've been in poodles for like 5 years, and I would still consider myself new. Like, it's that type of thing, where it's like, you're still...
always learning.
Yeah. It's always kind of a work in progress, but yeah, it is a lot. And I think that... it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I do hear people say like, oh, like people almost treat it like showing as like a hair growing contest. And that's not true either. Like, I would win more than I do if that was true, to be honest. Yeah. Because I can grow hair on something. But, so it's not impossible. It's not rocket science. You just need the right support, and you have to be the right kind of person, I think. For it to not just not be very fun. Like when it's a hobby, because most people are getting into showing as a hobby, it's not, And so and then you have 6 hours of maintenance work to do every Saturday, and you're like, this is taking over my life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So why are their tails docked?
So I will be so honest with you. In poodles, we don't have any of the other it's because they're a working breed stuff. It's aesthetic, and it's written as an aesthetic thing in our standard. It just has to do with, it's in our standard. It says dock to a sufficient length for a balanced outline. So it's just tradition, aesthetic. It's what people do.
Do you agree with it?
We dock ours.
Yeah. How do you do it?
In the U.S., so it's outlawed in FCI. So no one in Europe docks tails anymore. It's becoming less common in Canada. Some breeders, so there's a lot of, we're a really international breed. There's a lot of sending dogs around, breeding. A lot of our really big breeders here have specific breeders they breed. They partner with a lot who are overseas. And so our docks are getting longer and longer so that dogs can kind of show anywhere.
Yeah.
And not draw attention. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't be surprised if eventually docking just kind of goes out of style.
Yeah.
You do also have in the US almost this reactionary kind of contrary, we're the most traditional show community, I think. Okay. And so it's still hard to finish something with a natural tail here. It's not impossible, but it is still hard.
Yeah. So how do y'all dock the tails?
So at 3 days, it's different than so we're not like a bobtail dock. I don't even know if that's I don't know the terminology for other breeds, but you have the little.
I know what you mean,
on a copper. Yeah. So we're a long dock. We're usually between a third and a fourth of their tail. Is what most people do these days. It used to be shorter. If you look back at old vintage pictures, it's this little
oh,
but
really?
That's not what it looks like anymore. They've gotten long. And at 3 days old, 2 to 5 days is kind of a crossbreeds, what's considered acceptable for puppy docking. It gets snipped off and
at the vet,
usually either sewn up or glued. Yeah. So I have been present for that. Maybe other docks are different. This docking is the type of thing that if tomorrow everyone said we're not docking tails anymore, I'd be like, okay. But it's also something that puppies recover really quickly from it. Yeah. They kind of squeal and cry for a second and then they're fine and then they never act different again.
Yeah.
I also so I have a greyhound and I grew up, my family dog growing up was actually a golden doodle. So, and both of them have had happy tail a lot. So my greyhound will split her tail. She's done it 2 or 3 times, just split her tail open.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to heal and it's bleeding everywhere. And he used to, he actually had a permanently, he broke his tail and then healed back. Yeah. And because we're a historically docked breed, tails, there's a lot of variation in tails if left natural. Mm-hmm. And so they can be really long, really long.
Yeah.
His litter, my silver dog's litter, they were so long.
Wow.
And they can be really thin.
Uh-huh.
And so it would be something that the breed would have to address if we stopped talking tails.
Yeah.
We'd have to select for different tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned golden doodle. My next question is, how do you feel about doodles?
So this is super funny because I said I had a family pet growing up that was a golden doodle, and my first dog as an adult was a cockapoo. And I just recently, he's 9. I just recently rehomed him to my brother and girlfriend. And so like that's where I started. And now we're here.
Yeah. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah. So, but also because because I've worked at a salon and my sister's a groomer, like that also informs how you feel about doodles.
Mm-hmm.
And the poodle community in general, like, is very outspokenly against doodles. I try not to be mean to people about their dogs. Although my most viral TikTok content is me mentioning doodles.
Yep.
And so that's always interesting. So I'm sure some people think that I hate doodles, but they are kind of a problem. They're like a systemic problem. Like the individual dogs are sometimes problems, but I was actually thinking the other day, growing up, like I was thinking of all of my friends and the dogs that I grew up with. And I had like a friend with a Schnauzer and a friend with a Cocker Spaniel and a friend with and a couple friends with Poodles. And now all those same families, if they had would just have doodles. Like, yeah. Everyone, there's a really big doodle breeder in my area that everyone I know has a doodle from them. And they have like probably 20 plus litters a year. And my sister gets some of their breeding dogs in as clients sometimes. Mm-hmm. And they're breeding 6-month-old boys and just like all the things, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty frustrating. I think also a lot of breeders are experiencing burnout because they're replacing smaller breeds, number one. Like a lot of the purebred toy breeds, people just aren't getting it. Like instead of getting a Yorkie, they're getting a mini Bernedoodle.
Yeah. Or a Yorkie poo.
Yeah. And the coat maintenance is way harder. Mm-hmm. And so like it's just causing, I think, burnout. Also, even speaking of size, like people will think they're getting a small or medium-sized dog and then they end up with an 80-pound huge beastly thing that has hip dysplasia. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it's something that I'm pretty frustrated by. Also, it's someone who's getting ready to sell a litter of puppies. The price people will pay for a doodle is crazy. Yeah. I am a pretty polite person on the internet, but when I come across content that is like someone bought a doodle for like $7,000 to $10,000, my go-to comment is always like, you could buy a puppy from a Westminster Best in Show winning poodle and it wouldn't be $7,000. Yeah. And I don't think people even know that. Right. That in the reputable purebred world, there's like norms. Mm-hmm. There and you would never pay that much for a dog. No. And so it irritates me so much.
Yeah. How much will you sell your puppies for?
Right now, $2,800 for a companion puppy. It might go up from there. That's actually a little bit lower than kind of the norm at the moment in the reputable community. But anywhere from about $2,500 to $4,500 is kind of a range that you'll see. I'm the type of person who would rather be a little under than a little over on price. I just think it's a little easier for me and for other people. So we'll see if it changes. But right now it's $2,800 for a companion puppy. It's kind of what I've settled on.
What do you think about Moyens?
We have 3 varieties and they're all the same breed. So we have one breed standard for toys, miniatures, and standards. And in our breed standard, there are differences because genetically they're distinct from each other, but in our breed standard, the only thing that should be different about them is size. So they're judged according to the same standard. And in FCI, there's 4 varieties. So in AKC, we have almost like a missing variety if you compare it to FCI. Where in the United States and Canada, in that gap that the medium or dwarf, there's a Moyen. So Moyen just means medium. So the other variety is just medium, is just a standard poodle. So our size ranges from anything above 15 inches in the US is just registered as a standard poodle.
Yeah.
So you have true medium poodles that are FCI registered European that are their own thing. And then in the US, most of the time, if someone is advertising Moyen poodles, they're just breeding varieties together to get smaller sizes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're registering them, they're just registered. Like that's not a designation here. So there is a third consideration in that inner variety breeding is another kind of controversial topic in the breed community. And some people do it on purpose specifically for genetic diversity. There was a study done in like 2015 that was looking at comparing the genetics, some of the genetics between standards and minis, and that study showed that they're genetically as distinct as 2 different breeds. So on a genetic level, even though phenotypically they're bred for all the same characteristics, genotypically they're as distinct as breeding 2 different breeds together. We have it's called the mid-century bottleneck in poodles, where there was this really prolific show breeder that inbred like crazy and exported her dogs all over the world. And so all poodles basically go back to her dogs.
Oh, wow.
She was breeding in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah, her name is Jean Lyle, Wycliffe Kennels. So it's called the Wycliffe bottleneck or the mid-century bottleneck. So a lot of, and that probably exacerbated some health concerns we have in the breed that likely existed before that, but it just kind of made everything so related that it's hard to breed away from those things. It can be. So Addison's disease and sebaceous adenitis that we talked about earlier, and some other things like that. So there are some breeders who choose to breed minis and standards together to try to lower their genetic diversity. And so their motivation is really different than someone breeding Moyens to sell as just a marketing for pets.
Yeah.
It's still pretty controversial, a practice, because those health concerns aren't things we have genetic testing for. And so the idea is that by hiring the genetic diversity, by having dogs that are just more distantly related, you're kind of randomizing those genes so that they're not popping up. But it's pretty unpredictable at this point. We have, like, there's some testing that people do for genetic diversity and things for that. But without genetic testing, there's also a chance that you're just spreading those diseases across varieties because they're still not predictable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a controversial thing. Some people choose to do it, and I kind of think like that's fine for them to do. It's not something that I would do. So I'm not super into intervariety breeding, but I think it's something people can do. It's fine for that reason.
Right.
So, there's some really well-known breeders on TikTok that actually do intervariety breeding for that reason. Yeah. So some of the breeders people probably know of when they think of poodles on TikTok they do intervariety breeding for genetic diversity. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a standard poodle at a dog event a few weeks ago, and I was like, is that a Moyen? Because she was so small.
Little.
And she's like, no, it's a standard poodle. I was like, oh, sorry.
my black bitch, she is 22 inches, which is like within normal range, but a little small. She's a little on the petite side, and sometimes people will comment on like, what kind of poodle is that?
Yeah.
Standard. She's just little.
Yeah. I want one though. I want, if I ever get a poodle, that's the size that I want.
I think it's a common backyard breeder term, like, right? And I think it is because there's a high demand for dogs that size. And in the US, we kind of have a gap because even though our standard says, our breed standard says they can be anything above 15 inches, in the show world, no one's showing anything. No one's showing 16-inch standard poodles. People would just laugh at you. You would get, it would be really silly. So instead you have minis that go up to 15 inches and then a jump where anything really coming from a show breeder is going to be 21 inches or bigger. So I can see the appeal. The size appeal. It's a good size for a lot of people.
It is. How old are the puppies when you send them to their new homes?
So I'm planning on doing 9 weeks to 12 weeks, and it will probably depend. So the norm in poodles is to do your structural evaluations at about 8 weeks. That's what most people do. So 8 weeks you do structural evaluations, and then because I'm planning on keeping something myself from all of my upcoming litters, at least the next 2 or 3 litters I do, I'll be keeping something for myself. I might hold more back to keep an eye on them. I'm like, this for sure is gonna go to a pet home, and I have a home lined up. I'm okay with it leaving around 9 weeks, but it could be longer than that for sure.
Yeah. Will you allow people to pick which puppy they will get?
No, probably not. Although this is a funny thing. I hear people talk about this all the time about like, you shouldn't be picking your own puppy. I have only ever picked my own puppies, including my own show dogs.
Really?
And so that is something that there's nuance of like, I've picked my own. So there is a little nuance in that, but I will be helping people choose for sure their puppy.
Yeah.
Will
you sell litter mates together?
No, I will not. That's something that actually I'm always confused why anyone would want 2 puppies at the same time.
Me too.
One puppy's hard enough.
Yeah.
When anyone asks about that, I'm always like, I don't understand the motivation there.
Me either. If something ever happens and somebody can't keep the dog, would you take them back?
Yeah, so in most reputable breeders will have a clause in their contract
Yeah.
where if anything happens, you get first right of refusal. I will say, as someone who is just a hobby and breeding on such a small level, it does get hard because when your dogs are living in your house with you and you're trying to breed, you run out of room. Like there's a cap of dogs you can own realistically and take care of.
Yeah.
So I will say my first option would always be to help someone rehome a dog if needed. The
Yeah.
nice thing about being part of a community, a breed community, is it gives you a network of people.
Yeah.
And so you have more resources than your average pet person does for finding someone that would be looking for their dog. I think that some people see responsible breeders taking back dogs almost like their backup plan, and I think that can be a little too casually thought of. Like the on one side you have ethical breeding, and then on the other side you have ethical dog ownership, and those have to go together. So like don't get a dog if you're not up for it, but then also emergencies happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you would always
Right,
make sure a
Yeah.
dog is taken care of. So
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ask this question, then we're gonna open it up for questions in the chat, and the poll, we'll do the poll soon. If someone is looking for an ethical breeder, what do you recommend?
if someone is looking for a multicolor pattern poodle, that's a totally separate registry and breed community. So but because I'm in the AKC community, I always say to go to the Poodle Club of America has a breeder referral. It's west of the Mississippi and east of the Mississippi. There's ladies in charge, and so they also have pages where you can look by state if there is a poodle breeder in your area. Also, local poodle clubs usually have a breeder referral person also, that if you have a more local poodle club, they should have a breeder referral. So that's what I say to do first, is to go to our parent club's breeder referral.
I guess just like the poodle people like to join a club and stuff like that. It's just like really hard.
Yeah. So because I'm in the AKC community, I know quite a few PCA breed members. So like I think that I have a different perspective than a lot of people you would talk to, especially on TikTok, because there's kind of a community of breeders that are on TikTok that I'm kind of not a part of. So like I like PCA. Like I have friends that I'm but they're a really traditional club, and it's really hard to become a member of our national breed club. It's super hard. There's like an application, and an existing board member has to like write you letters of referral, and it's like a whole thing. So you have some breed clubs, like all you have to do is get on their website and like click and you can join, and it's not like that at all. It can be a little easier to become a member of smaller local breed club, but not like anyone who breeds multicolors is automatically barred. They can't be part of it goes against AKC, the Poodle Club of America. It goes against their code of ethics. So
okay.
Yeah.
Kristen, are you here, or any mod to start the poll? Yeah, Kristen's here. Kristen, can you start the poll, please? And do we have any questions in the chat? I haven't seen any questions in the chat. Yep, we're gonna do the poll now, guys. It'll come up right here, in the top corner right here, top left-hand corner. There'll be a little notepad, and we can vote on if this breeder is ethical or unethical. And Puppy Girl wants to know, did you show at PCA?
So we haven't ever shown any of our own dogs at PCA, but because my sister used to be a live-in assistant, we assist. We help get dogs ready at PCA a lot of the time. We were supposed to go this year and we're not. It's in a couple weeks. So I'm sad I won't be there this year, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year. And I might have I'd like to show our own dogs at PCA. So someday. I saw someone talking about PCA that they want to show. Go watch first. That's my advice about PCA. Go watch the year before you want to show, because it's a big show. It's really intimidating. So I just am throwing that out there.
All right, guys, out of 42 votes, we got 95.24% yes, ethical breeder, and 4.76% no, not an ethical breeder. Two people.
I would love to know why, which is fine.
If you guys want to share why, you can, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But there's usually always, we've only had one person get 100% ethical, so.
Oh yeah, I really don't care. It's actually, I never even use that verbiage myself. Like my website doesn't say we're an ethical
breeder. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel like only unethical breeders have to say we're an ethical breeder.
Yeah. That's the thing. People don't usually know what kind of breeder they are. So I guess we all find out from other people.
Yeah.
What we are.
Are you going to sell breeding rights for your puppies?
So I've had some interest in show puppies. I will not sell anyone breeding rights outright. No, 0% chance of that. If someone is interested in getting into showing, I'm open to it, but I'm going to be really picky. So I'm talking to some people, but we'll see if that actually happens. So, yeah.
Alrighty, last call for questions. Is there anything you wanted to share that we didn't ask about?
I am just doing a shameless plug for my litter because I haven't had anything going on for like 5 or 6 years. I'm kind of starting from scratch. So I'm going to be taking applications for pet puppies on my website. So if anyone's interested.
Yeah, guys, make sure to go follow. Check out her website. It's right on her page. And I'm sure that she'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have, point you guys in the right direction. If anybody's ever looking for a poodle, if she doesn't have any, I'm sure she could help you out. If you want to get into showing poodles, stuff like that, it sounds like this could be a really good resource, guys. So make sure to follow her. And
poodles are the best. They're fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. This was so fun. I really appreciate it. You did great.
Oh, thank you.
It was nice meeting you. I hope you have a great night.
Nice to meet you. You too.
All right. I'll see you later. I'll disconnect you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bye. Yay. Love her, guys. Love her. That was awesome. She is so cool. And I just love meeting new ethical breeders.